And this week it's TikTok. TikTok is something I've never used before, and I don't think it's been a conscious choice. I just have never been interested and never called to use it. I do use Instagram, and I notice that the times I'm using Instagram more is when I'm lacking connection, when I'm going to social media, and when I'm feeling abundant in my relationships and connections and projects and collaborations, I hardly check those things. I also notice that I use it as a way to let my brain go numb. Just let it turn off. Let all of the activity pause. So when I watched this documentary, TikTok Boom, I was all over the place. I was really impressed. It was very well done. And TikTok being like this avenue and pathway for people to express themselves, to express their creativity, and have a wide reach and receive all this validation and celebration. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, there's a lot of power. There's a lot of power in TikTok, and nobody even realized it or thought about it, except for someone who was thinking about it, right? This ByteDance company was very intentional and very methodical. So well done. Again, it is genius. And this whole recommendation algorithm technology, wow. So you're not having to make decisions. Like I referenced in my last video, I used this photo, here it is again, this photo of the heads just being open and brains being inserted, and essentially that's what this algorithm is. And there's two sides of the coin and everything in between. It's nice to have something make a decision for you and then even predict something you may like, because now you do not need to be burdened with the weight of decision. And at the same time, it's pretty invasive, right? Something is literally studying you in such a way we can't even comprehend it. And so we're always being studied. I'm personally like, what are we worried about the data? Where is it going? Like, for what? What can they do that they're not already doing? So by them taking our data and us not knowing where it's going, what can they do beyond what they're already doing? The elite, the Illuminati, the government, the military, the reptilians, whatever you want to call it. What more can they do? They already have access to us literally all the time. I mean, we're surrounded by cameras and media, and so that part of the documentary, I'm like, well, what are we worried about where the data's going? Like, they already have so much access to us. Can they really gain more? Because they seem to understand us through and through. I mean, understand us so well that they can collectively numb entire generations just about, and have people lack curiosity and intrigue and be so susceptible to influence. Okay, censorship and shaping of the mind. All these youths are using these things. Their brains are not fully developed in tandem. They're likely not being encouraged to strengthen their critical thinking muscles, their muscles of discernment. And I really liked the 16-year-old dance influencer, how his dad was so involved. I mean, on so many levels. One, it's bringing them closer. Two, there's a stable, experienced, foundational rock that is the parent that can go ahead and filter out any creepy messages, any messages trying to take advantage of, any opportunities, and someone also supporting the art and the vision. So in that regard, censorship, love that. But then again, who gets to be the final judge? So if this ByteDance company is doing this censorship based on like how people look, how people sound, political topics, I mean, so they're getting to be the judge. That's not necessarily right or wrong, because that's their company. Those are their ethos or whatever the hell. It's not very inclusive and all-encompassing. It's very limiting, but that's what they want to do. So how can you have all perspectives represented all the time? So, okay, infinite perspectives. Literally everything has infinite perspectives. Literally everything. And so it is at the same time a tool and a weapon. A tool for expression, for fame, for money, for opportunity, for connectivity. But then you're also exposed to a lot of abuse and bullying. It is who is behind the tool and how it's being used. And this brought up a lot of thoughts for me about validation, and I think that we love external validation. We need it, we love it. Again, a bad thing if you're seeking external validation from a bunch of strangers on a screen or in person, versus seeking validation from people you love and trust and respect and honor, and you know they love, trust, respect, and honor you in return. When we're living in these villages and tribes and smaller communities that are intentional and reciprocal, our external validation was probably pretty frequent and pretty regular and didn't need to be sought out. And then as we became more divided, we had to go out further and outsource our validation, which is just being recognized and seen. And every single human being, and I'm pretty sure every living being in general, wants to be recognized. I mean, you're taking this power of being seen and witnessed, the power of your voice, the power of your art and expression, and you're putting it on this platform, and you have no clue who's going to be watching it. And there's the algorithm. So the algorithm is tailoring this, it's funneling this very direct message and imagery, which is furthering the division. So we're so easily divided even before the algorithm stuff, but then you get the algorithms in play and we're being fed the things that we already agree with more and more and more, and normalizing this like repulsion of opposition. So the less we're exposed to diversity, I think the more sensitive and reactive we become, because we're not practicing discernment. And then what comes up for me too is it's like a laziness, but an unintentional laziness. We don't want to decide for ourselves, so somebody else is doing it. We're outsourcing our decisions and our identities, us exposing ourselves and our power to strangers who a lot of are pretty immature and inexperienced in their ability to express and process their unmet needs, their unmet emotions, their unmet desires, and then they are being projected onto the people on social media because it's so disconnected, because it's so easy to sit behind a screen and just point fingers and call names. And I mean, wow, people that are doing that, the heart must be in a lot of fucking pain. To sum that up, my 3 main takeaways are how the algorithm isn't neutral, and it may have been created to make things easier for the consumer. That may have been the true intention, was let's make things easier for the consumer to buy, and we don't want to spend our precious time searching and looking things up, so here we'll just have these little computer things stalk you and track you, and you will all become collectively desensitized to it, and we'll normalize it. Oh, well, that's just how it is. We have a freaking smartphone. We have a little supercomputer with us at all times. We're being tracked at all times. We're pretty much all collectively desensitized to it. And, I mean, there's a lot to go in there. A takeaway number 2 is that validation is human, and it's becoming less sacred when we're outsourcing it to strangers and screens. I have a lot more to go in on that as well, but there is connection that you can make through digital platforms, absolutely, but that true energetic exchange, those true, like the highs you can get and the lows you can get from interacting with people in person and feeling their energy and emotions, nothing compares to in person. Nothing. And a third point, being shaped without consent. I think it can be really cool for the youth to have a collaborative experience in social media. At this point, there needs to be social media classes and critical thinking and critical inquiry classes for the youth in the grade schools, so that you want to expose yourself to this thing, this vast thing that is not really censored but is also extremely censored. You got to get some tools under your belt and put them to practice. Start asking questions. Reclaim curiosity, reclaim attention and intention.